Welcome to the Geek Easy Fellow Geeks. Let's open a beverage of your choice. Because it is time for another installment of Terrifying Tuesdays. In which I review a movie from the collection of movies and some TV shows that my father left me, or didn't actually. My mom said, "Do you want these?" My father was a big old sci-fi and horror buff, and my mom is not. And so she knew who to come to, and I was like, of course. So, but anyway, that's not the point. Anyway, this will be from the Boris Karloff collection, a movie which is called Night Key, which came out in 1937. Hell, it predates both my parents. Anyway, and of course it does have Boris Karloff. Anyway, it's Night Key, 1937. Karloff ignites the screen as an ingenious inventor of a security system who is kidnapped by a gang of burglars and forced to help them commit robberies. Alright, so let me get down to the review here. Now, what would you do if you were an inventor and you invented an invention, say like a new security system, and you went to a guy and said, "Hey, I invented it," and went to the guy, and then he basically steals it from you and takes credit for it. You'd be a little pissed off, wouldn't you? That's kind of what happened, in a sense, to Boris Karloff's character. The movie starts out with kind of like a CEO of this, this security company. It's sort of like, say, Guardian or something like that. You know what I mean? One that you'd install at your business or at your home and all that. Dictating a letter to his mail secretary and celebrating their 20th anniversary of the invention of this thing that this guy created. Well, turns out that he actually hadn't. Sorry. What he did is he had taken credit for it from Boris Karloff's character and fucked him over. It's what it is it's basically sort of like the alarm systems we have now. I don't know if they have anything like had them actually back in the day or not. You'd go in there and it would break. If it breaks a connection, it would set off an alarm. It's done by electricity. And so he's kind of living in poverty and all this stuff while this other guy. But then, this Boris Karloff's character has spent he spent 15 years creating this new alarm system, this new security system. And this one is basically a very early precursor to the electric eye. Sends out a beam, you break it, boom, sets off an alarm. And his lawyer comes up and says, "Hey, look, dude wants to come see you, wants you to see him. He wants to talk. He goes, well, he kind of screwed me over. He says, no. Well, yeah, I've already done the contract out. It's good. Well, what he didn't know was that the lawyer had and the CEO were in cahoots. They want to steal his new system, and so he signs the contract, and they said, okay, we're not, boom. What he didn't know, what these guys didn't know, was that Boris Karloff had come up with a key, this little box, that helped him bypass the original alarm system, right? Not the electric eye one, but the other one. So he could, and then you could open the door and go in, and it wouldn't set off the alarm. So he could do, whatever he wanted. And he's just like, but he's not a criminal. So all he wanted to do was, he started writing these notes saying, whatever you create, I can destroy. And he ran into a little lockpick guy, and they started breaking into these places just to show that they could do it, to ruin this other place's reputation, and it leads them to getting attention to this bad guy. Right? It's a really kind of a fun movie. I mean, it is. There are some, very antiquated. I don't want to say antiquated, but there's very old slang in there and all that stuff, and kind of dated, ways of doing things. But that's part of the fun of it. It doesn't take itself too seriously. There's humor in it, but it really just kind of keeps the plot going, and it kind of diverges off into 2 points. It's got the professor and his guy doing stuff, and then the professor's daughter, who he had wanted to get the money from the second alarm system, because he knows he's dying, to leave for his daughter, so his daughter can quit and live off life. But she's trying to help this one guy find her father, and so and the interaction between the daughter and the guy that's helping her, who actually works for the company, is really kind of well written and fun. It's just, it starts out one way and it works into another way, just like they always do in the movies. But it was believable and just fun, just because, I liked it. It wasn't, too excessive. It wasn't too, over the top. It was very well shot, very well written. Some high quality acting. I don't know of anybody. Sorry, I'm having my knee surgery, so I'm still dealing with some pain and stuff. So I have to do this every once in a while. It's just a quality, fun kind of. I'm guessing it could be considered horror, or crime maybe, because some of these are crime ones. So when I say Terrifying Tuesdays, it's not necessarily always horror, but that's just for the whole collection. But it's just a chilling horror classic. So this should be considered horror. I mean, kidnapped against your will to help bad bad guys commit crimes, what could be kind of horrible. But there's kind of an innocence to it from back in, like 1937. I mean, considering how jaded we are now and how stuff like this now, it just seems a little kind of innocent and, what's considered, a bad guy back then wouldn't even cause people to blink. But, to blink nowadays. But I do really enjoy this one. It's, like I said, beautifully shot, very well acted, has some good funny moments in it. It's an hour and 18 minutes, so it's not even that long. Just, so I say check it out. I'm going to give it a 4.75 out of 5. Say check it out. Anyway, like, subscribe, possibly share, and most of all, enjoy your old horror movies.